Hi, good morning, everybody. Well, we're back with our assemblies, and it's great to be back because I've missed doing this. Oh, now I'm on a new way of doing Facebook video, and it's slightly confusing me. But hey ho, we're gonna keep going as if it's all working fine, and hopefully it will be good. Well, I hope you had a good break over Easter, and it's great to be back and with you because, as I say, I missed doing these. So I'm going to start off this morning with a little bit of sort of like a Pictionary game. Now, this is going to be a bit tricky for me to draw, but let's see how we go. So I'm going to draw a famous landmark. And what I'd like you to do, see if you can guess what it is I am drawing. Okay, right. I haven't practiced this, so let's see how it goes. It's not looking particularly good at the moment. Okay, can you see these, right? Okay, this is looking pretty shocking. Right, okay. Famous landmark. Oh, this is awful. No. Who knew this would be so hard to draw? Right. Any ideas? You could always put it in your comments section if you think. I'm going to give you a clue that this one is located in Cardiff. Okay, my famous landmark. Okay, so that one is the Millennium Stadium. We now call it the Principality Stadium in Cardiff. Yeah, not the best drawing I've ever done, that one. Okay, let's see. Right, let's see if we can do another landmark here. Okay, I'm going to go upwards for this one. Okay, right, I think this one you're going to get without any problem. So this one, that's me being artistic-y. Possibly it does that as well. I don't know. Okay, that one's in London. That's my attempt at drawing Big Ben. Yeah. Okay, can you guess? Can you guess this one? Oh, right. really should have practiced these. Okay, this is another one in London. I think it does something like this. Okay. What do you think about that one? Yeah, definitely should have practiced some drawing. What do you think about that one? Oh, well done. The Howl's got Big Ben. Well done. This one, it's a sort of used for big fancy occasions and weddings. Also in London. That one is my attempt to draw St. Paul's Cathedral. Okay, now you may not have got that from my drawing, but I wondered, do you know these buildings anyway? I wonder how well you know these buildings. Do you know who designed the Millennium Stadium? Well, I didn't know, so I've had to look it up. Maybe that's something you could do to look up. Who did these famous landmarks? Now, this to help you, this one was an architect called Bob Sheard. Never heard of it. Now, this one has got quite a famous architect. Do you know who was the architect of St. Paul's Cathedral? It was a chap called Sir Christopher Wren. So Sir Christopher Wren was the architect of St. Paul's Cathedral. And a lot of times we'll say, who built St. Paul's Cathedral? Christopher Wren did. Well, actually, he didn't build it, did he? But we all associated that building with him because it's his plans and his sort of fingerprints are all over it, even though he never laid a brick himself. Now, Now, reminds me of the Bible, strangely enough, because we talk about the Bible as being inspired by God. Now, God didn't write the Bible, but he's a bit like the architect. So just like Christopher Wren never laid any bricks for St. Paul's Cathedral, God didn't write any of the Bible, but he is the architect of it. And he he inspired the writers of it. So his fingerprints are all over the Bible. So why is the Bible important? Well, if we think, we've just had Easter, haven't we? And one of the key things about Easter is that it doesn't end on Good Friday. On Easter Sunday, Jesus was no longer in the tomb. But where was he? Well, the Bible tells us that over the next 40 days, up to over 500 people saw Jesus on different occasions, in different places, for different periods of time. Sometimes they didn't recognize him at first, and then they did. And it tells us that in the Bible. So the important thing is, how can we rely on the Bible? So I've posted a little video below, which you can watch at the end, where our puppet friends talk a little bit about the evidence for the Bible. But just a little bit about what is the Bible then? So really, this comes from a Latin word called biblios. And that's where we get our word for library from. So it's not really one book. The Bible is actually 66 books altogether. So it's like your own little mini library. And the key thing is that it's divided into two parts. You've got an Old Testament and a New Testament. I'm going to show you where they start and stop. So there you go. This amount of it here, the first bit is the Old Testament. And that was everything up to Jesus being born. So before Jesus was born, it was in the Old Testament. And this bit here is the New Testament, which talks about Jesus's life and then what happened after he died and went back to heaven, and what all the disciples did. And the Bible is written by over 40 different people. And it's not just like a chapter book like you might read at school. It's actually made up of different types of books. You've got books of poetry in there, books of history, books of law, people writing letters, people talking about the future, people talking about like a diary account of what happened. So lots of different ways. So when you think about the Bible, we need to understand a little bit about what it is. But as we said, with the architect, it's all about, it's got God's fingerprints all over it. And even though all of this bit happens before Jesus was born, it points us towards Jesus. It's really a bit like a big jigsaw puzzle or a big painting, and it's just all pointing towards Jesus. So I'm going to show you a few little bits of some nice little, get a bit cultural, and some nice bits of art this morning. And let's have a little look at that. This is a lovely picture by the artist Edward Manet. And just have a little look at it. You think, first of all, well, there's just a lady there. She's at a busy bar in Paris. But this is sort of cleverly arranged. And you can see most of the bar reflected there in the mirror. And you can think, oh, I can see some reflections there. There's a man talking to another lady there. You're thinking, I wonder what they're talking about. You're thinking about, what's she wondering about, this bar lady? She looks a bit sad. You look closely and you can see lots of detail. And it's the same with the Bible. You look closely into it and there's layer upon layer of detail, but it all points to God, and it all points to Jesus. And it basically just, you can sum it up really. It's really just telling us, love God, love each other. And that is a bit like, how can you go wrong with that? It's like, you might think, I don't want to have a rule book, but can you imagine playing like your favorite games, whatever your favorite sport is? Maybe you like golf or football. Can you imagine playing those sports without rules? It'd be a bit crazy, wouldn't it? And so when we talk about like things like the rules that we should live by, these aren't here to spoil our fun. They're here to protect us and to help us. So lots of stuff in the Bible. And it's really important because it gives us the confidence that Jesus rose and was seen by lots of people after he died. And it tells us, it gives us hope. So I'm going to let you watch the video as well from our puppet friends, which is just below. Have a little bit of research if you want about who were the architects of these buildings. Perhaps do your own Pictionary of landmarks or things that you like. Maybe have a look at some art and think about the meanings of it. And also, if you want to, why not list? We love doing lists in this house here. You could list out all the books of the Bible. Some of them have got crazy names, but write a little list for you. So I'll be back again tomorrow, doing something quite interesting tomorrow. So I hope to see you all there. Enjoy the video and stay safe, everybody.